Hey everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you all this big old box of primers. I'm going to be doing a declutter for you, but not only that, what makes my declutter videos a little bit different is that I love to do speed reviews of all of the products that I'm talking about, so you all get a better idea of why I really enjoy these products or why I really don't. There are more glowy primers in here, there are more hydrating primers. I also have like hydrating mists as well that I use on top of makeup as well as under. So those are the kind of products that we're dealing with today. If you really appreciate all the speed reviews, if you really love these videos, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up so that I know and I will keep doing them for you all. And with all of that, let us begin. The first primer we have to talk about today is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Now, if you're not new to my channel, then you know how much I really enjoy this one. It is a luxury product, but one of the best primers, in my opinion, on the market. That is why I already have a backup here. I almost always have a backup on hand. I will be keeping this, but essentially what makes this primer a little bit different than other primers on the market is the texture and kind of the way it makes the skin feel and look. It creates an incredibly smooth base for makeup to apply on top. But the difference between this kind of product and your typical like silicone heavy pore filling primer is that this makes the skin look really smooth, but also incredibly hydrated. It doesn't readily pill up on itself. And I've found that there are very little makeup products, foundations, blushes, you name it, that do not look amazing with this under it. I would even go so far to say that with a really good investment like this, makeup products that typically wouldn't look great on my skin actually look better. Really lightly kind of softens the pores and in general just makes my skin feel very hydrated. And again, if we're looking for a performance product as far as primers go, this is definitely one that I would recommend. This next item is essentially an empty. This is the Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. So I can show you the texture though. So Jesus, I feel like every time that happens. You can see it is an incredibly thin texture. The most watery out of all of the primers I have, but it is in this different kind of space as far as categories go. Part skincare, it's part primer, and I'm personally finding myself really loving these kinds of items that impart this beautiful glow, but also make my skin feel good for having applied them. When makeup can kind of bridge that gap, make my skin feel great, and also make makeup feel like it's applying better, I really love that, as you guys will see. If my skin is feeling really dull, this is the primer that I will reach for. It does kind of sink into the skin. You know when people were applying like facial oils into their foundations, I would kind of think about this product as a more refined version of that idea. It is so much thinner than a facial oil, but it does kind of give whatever product you have a little bit of a slip, a bit more luminosity. I love the beautiful glass bottle. I, as a whole, have just found that when my skin is not doing well and I'm afraid to put on makeup, I've definitely been reaching for this one, and I need to pick up another one. But I would not dare throw this away yet because there's a little bit left and it will be gone in the next couple of days. You can see even when I rub in that product into my hands, it's still leaving me with that kind of instant glow that it boasts. So it's a very good product. Next we have the Missha Glow Skin Balm. I initially tried this because I thought it might be a dupe for the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. It is not. You can see it is incredibly glassy, and I'd like to incorporate this into another K-beauty video upcoming, so I am going to keep it for now. One thing I will say is that I wish it wasn't as fragranced as it is. I've just found that the fragrance is pretty strong for me. But I will say, as far as slip and that really glassy look, I think that folks that are interested in that kind of item as far as primers go will really enjoy this. Seeing this as a good kind of fall winter primer for some of you. So I am going to be keeping this for now. However, I do think I can go ahead and pass along the VDL Lumi Layer Primer. It's fine. I've talked about this product before on my channel. It is, again, one of these kind of glass skin products. And the problem with this one is that I find it kind of dries awkwardly on my skin. You can see it has like a little bit of a lavender, pinky kind of shift. I can see it being a balancing for some people. For me, I just don't really reach for it. There are very, very, very fine shimmers in here. I don't think it's something necessarily that is awkward looking on the skin. I can see this being like a pinpoint highlight kind of product, but I'm already so picky with like what primers I'm even incorporating into my routine, or I'm sorry, highlights that I'm incorporating into my routine, that I just know myself, I'm probably not going to be reaching for this a lot. So that being said, this is our first declutter. Listen, hear me out here. I've used this product for a very long time. I know it's very, very expensive, but that doesn't mean it's not good. And so I am going to be keeping these, but just so you all have, a better idea of why I really, really enjoy the Luminous Dewy Skin Mist from Tatcha. It is kind of one of those quick fix items for me when my skin is really, really not doing well and I need to make sure that there's hydration, there's glow. My skin is really looking dull. We're dealing with just in general kind of chapped skin as well. This is a quick fix. I love a quick fix product that kind of saves a makeup look. And I think I'm willing to spend a little bit more money to have those solutions on hand. There are other options that are more affordable that I will talk about, but just know that this one is really beautiful. It has a very fine mist. I also find that like a couple of spritzes at the end of a routine, if you just find that your makeup is looking crackly, it's looking a little too dry, it really can save a look. You can go overboard with this though. I think it's pretty concentrated in my experience, so definitely good for mature and dry skin. But as a whole, if you haven't tried it, you're really not sure if it's worth the hype. I would say formula-wise, the whole experience is worth the hype in my opinion. Shall we talk about some glowy primers? I can do a little quick comparison for you all. I think this is a good place to start. So first we have the InBeauty Face Glaze. This is a skin barrier veil. What makes this a little bit different than the other products we're talking about is I find it just kind of has a bit of like a satiny kind of finish to it. It doesn't really have a ton of glow. Now, I mean, I get this, I get it. I just find that for some reason it doesn't necessarily make my makeup look better, and I don't enjoy the way it feels enough on my skin to wear it for that reason. It's not bad, but it's not great in my opinion. Good ingredients though, a fan of the ingredients. But I would say maybe if you have more combination skin, you're looking for a glowy primer, you want something that has great skincare benefits, but again, you just want something a little bit more on the satin side, I can see this working for you. But for me, it's just not my favorite, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it along. One product I can kind of see missing here, I'm not sure where it is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Primer. Just know I absolutely love that one, and I think that it's better as a true primer than all three of these. So I apologize for not having that in front of me, but I did want to call that out because I think it's good context. Now, all of that being said, the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector is very similar. It's similar to the one from e.l.f., but the formula is just a little bit, I would say it's just a little bit thinner. What is happening here? Like, the sponge is coming apart on my hand right now. we're gonna go ahead and declutter this. Yeah, we're just gonna declutter this. By the way, this is not a dupe for either of these. It's kind of its own thing. It doesn't have enough glow to be something close to the Flawless Filter. However, I do think like the tones are kind of there. No, I actually don't think it's a bad product. I think that if you want like an all over quick glow, I can see someone really liking this, but yeah, this one in particular needs to go. Now, as far as these two primers go, the Auric Glow Lust versus the Flawless Filter. Gonna go ahead and say that the Flawless Filter, I believe, is not the best primer. However, for a very natural highlight, like liquid highlight, beautiful. One of the best, I would say. So again, this is just gonna kind of depend on what your vibe is, really. The texture of this is much thinner, which also I think lends itself better to being on top of makeup rather than under makeup as a primer. All over the face, it's too much, in my opinion, with the amount of sheen that it has and the amount of pearl. So, you know, on top of makeup, absolutely beautiful. All over as a primer, I would say go with the one from e.l.f. Much better, and I will have it linked down below. I'll have all of the products that I talk about today linked down below. No pressure to use the links, but thank you to everyone that does, because it does help to support my channel. I will be keeping the Charlotte Tilbury. I'm also going to be keeping the Auric Glow Lust. This is Morganite. This is a little bit better for those of you that want kind of a multifunctional item that is able to be mixed into product, put under, all over the face. For me personally, I like it the most as a highlight on top of makeup rather than using it all over. However, I will say that there's more like, it does feel that there's more coverage to the one from Auric versus the one from Charlotte Tilbury, but more pearl than the one from e.l.f. So the most pearl and the thinnest is the Charlotte Tilbury. The thickest with a medium amount of pearl and the most coverage is the one from Auric. And the e.l.f. has the least amount of pearl, but a medium amount of coverage. And that's kind of why I find it to be the best for all over the face. As a liquid highlight, you know, you could go with something with a little more impact probably. Let's talk about some Grippy primers. I do think I already decluttered my Jelly Pop primer from e.l.f. Just know that the Power Grip and the Jelly Pop are exactly the same. They're gonna do the same thing. So if one is out of stock, I know like the Jelly Pop one was kind of going viral and no one could find it. If you can find this, you have the same one. It just doesn't have like the watermelon smell to it. So if you can deal with that, there you go. This is one of those grippy primers that just everything sticks right to it. And I personally really like these kind of products for areas where I need to retain coverage. So you can definitely use primers, like certain primers, on certain parts of your face depending on your skin needs. This one is great for, like, I find around the mouth, if you're going to be eating, if you are talking a lot. For me, I tend to break out around my chin, so I like to apply a primer like this there just to kind of help maintain the coverage and the longevity of my makeup. You can see it does have a grip, it has a tack to it. Not like the absolute most hydrating thing ever, but it's also not going to feel uncomfortable on the skin. I think it's a good one, personally. I will be keeping this one. Plump Right Back. This is a serum primer. It's kind of, it's so similar. You certainly don't need both. I would say that the Plump Back is probably a little bit better for those of you that really want something that feels more hydrating. It has a little bit less grip than the Power Grip does. So again, just maybe a little bit more balanced for someone with dry skin. But all in all, I would say not a bad product, but kind of lackluster. So I'm going to pass that along. The Plump Finish Setting Mist. I actually used this. I remember using this before makeup and I really liked it. I think what I'm going to do with this one, I don't have like a ton of thoughts on it, if I'm being completely honest. I think I want to put this like in my car Or, you know, I always have like these little kind of small makeup items that I think could help. Like it would always be nice to have kind of like that security blanket, tiny little makeup bag in like your car, your purse, you know, whatever the case may be. I don't carry a large purse, so I don't typically have a lot of makeup on me. Just keep in mind if you are keeping makeup in your car, it's just not the most ideal place for makeup because of like temperature change and all of that good stuff. So just something to keep in mind. I'm not saying it's like the best place to keep makeup, but hey, we're all human here. Redness relief primers. It's just not something that I really need. I do have redness, certainly. This is the correcting primer from Pure. I have some friends that I think will get better use out of these. When I'm dealing with redness, I just am typically not reaching for a primer like this. I will say this one from Pure is the best one that I have tried so far. But again, I keep thinking about my one friend and I feel like she'll really enjoy this. And because I'm not reaching for it, I don't see a need to keep it. This one from NYX is not good. It's kind of like the one from Smashbox. You guys know the drill with those. It has a little green tint to it, and then you put it onto the skin and it kind of is super slippy and silicone-y. But look, like it hasn't really done much color correction at all. It just now has created this silicone-y layer for all of your makeup to slip around on. Granted, will make your pores look nice, but at what cost, I would say. So I'm also going to pass that along. I don't think Makeup Revolution makes this anymore, so I am going to pass it along. It's their Glass Skin Primer, and this is one of the glassiest primers you will find on the market. I mean, your skin looks wet after using this. You really don't need much. I would say this is even a good kind of mix-in product to a very matte foundation if you need to get some more use out of another product. I like having those kind of products on hand, by the way. Just products that you can mix into something and kind of get better use out of it with. Do you know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure they don't make it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that along. But in the same vein, let's talk about these more glassy primers. Have a few here. These are some of the ones I'm seeing right now. Others that could be in the conversation would be like the one from Merit. Merit, I think is the top. This is my favorite. All of these come after that, so good context for everyone. This is a body and face gloss from Estee Lauder. I keep it with my glassy primers because that's kind of how I see it working. Very similar to like the Kevin Aquan primer or like the face gloss if you're familiar with that. It has a little bit of like a bronzy kind of pearl to it. I can see this working really well to add into a moisturizer, a little bit into a foundation. I'm just not really reaching for it though. A lot of these are so kind of wet, not necessarily sticky, but you know, glossy. I gotta be real with myself. I'm not reaching for it, so I'm going to pass that one along. Now, this one from Hard Candy, I don't think is bad. The Sheer Envy Glow Serum Primer. In fact, I would say that at an affordable price, this is probably my favorite. Now, I don't typically recommend makeup just because it's affordable, so I feel like that's something to note. Like, I will say right now, I prefer the Glossier Future Dew, but on a budget, I think that this is one of the better primers out there. This one is good because it isn't just one of those primers with a ton of sparkle and pearl to it and you put it all over your face and it's just like pearly and sparkly with not much else going on. This kind of combines a bronze pearl with this more glossy finish, and actually this isn't as slippy as the one from Estee Lauder or the one from Revolution. So texture-wise, I think this one is actually better. And quite honestly, under makeup, do you really think there's going to be a difference between putting on this and like the Glossier Future Dew? I would say maybe not. I am going to pass this along, but here's the thing. This is what you get when you apply something like Future Dew versus the one from Hard Candy. I don't even know if there's any left in here. Okay, there was a little bit, and of course it's all over everywhere now. This is not even the real texture because this is just like the bottom. It's got a little bit more heft to it. Anyway, here's the difference between applying like Future Dew to those other ones. It feels like skincare. It retains that really pretty glassy glow, but it doesn't necessarily feel really glossy. It doesn't have that like lip gloss essence or undertone that some of these other products have. It feels way closer to skincare. I think the Merit Great Skin is going to work for more skin types. It's just thinner and gives pretty much the same appearance. So at the end of the day, I do prefer that one. But this is also like an OG for me. I think it's really nice. And texture-wise, like it is kind of annoying that the Merit Great Skin is so thin. Like it kind of gets everywhere when you pump it out. If you want something with more viscosity, it's just has a thicker texture to it, then I would go with this one. This is like no more, so this can also go. Now this is also going to go. Really, I'm doing a decent job at this declutter today. The Dewy Skin from Cover FX is, again, one of the glassiest like glow primers that you can get. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but it is just insane glossiness. Now this one is actually better texture-wise, in my opinion, to the one from Revolution. Definitely better than the one from Estee Lauder. It is ultra glassy, but there's a smoothness to it. It doesn't feel like putting lip gloss all over your face, but I'm just not reaching for it. So I'm going to pass that along. I'm also going to pass along the Gripping Primer from Cover FX. Honestly, this is probably like, there's a good chance it's just expired, so I might just toss it, but I really don't see a difference between using this and using like the Power Grip from e.l.f. So there you go. Hopefully that is helpful for you all. Shall we talk about a couple of mists really fast? Oh, by the way, I do have another one of the Future Dews. This one has some actually in it, so you can see the real texture here. Really beautiful texture. And I will say, I like that this has a little bit of like a pearl to it, and that little bit of like a, I don't know, a creamy look on the skin. There's definitely some amount of pearl and pigment in here. It is beautiful, and I will still continue to repurchase and use it. But yeah, so I wanted to just call that out for you all. And by the way, if it wasn't already clear, I think that this is one of the best glass skin primers that you can grab. Like I just rubbed that into my hand and look at how like just my hand looks so much more hydrated now. Great product to kind of save your skin. Like another one of those quick fix products to apply if you're worried about your skin not looking great with foundation on top. Anyway, so the Physicians Formula, the Essence of Healthy Toner and Setting Spray. This is mostly 95% galactomyces filtrate ferment. Essentially, it's a fermented ingredient that's really good for irritated skin. The mist on here is incredibly fine. This is a very affordable but feels luxury kind of product. One of those primers that has skincare benefits to it while also giving a really nice appearance on the skin. It's a glow that isn't heavy. So, you know, to kind of give you guys more context here, we have the Peach and Lily Glass Skin Veil. This is a little milkier. The mist is still incredibly fine, beautiful for under makeup as a primer. Over makeup in general, I love this one and will continue to use it. I also like that there are, again, skincare benefits to this one. It's not just purely aesthetic glow, the way that some of the more pearl-based products are. I think it's really beautiful. I'm going to be keeping that one, but this one is so thin, it almost is truly like a toner, rather than something more close to an essence. Essence toner. So might work for more combination and oily skin as well. But yeah, I think it's really good. I will leave a link to it. Keep in mind, occasionally I have picked one up and it's smelt weird. And I've actually gotten comments, you guys had a similar experience. It's not supposed to really have a smell. This one doesn't really smell like much, kind of just like faint skincare smell. If it smells like sour or off, then, you know, keep in mind, it's not supposed to smell like that. So hopefully that's helpful there. Speak of the devil, what do you know? I do have the Jelly Pop Dew Primer from e.l.f. I don't know how I still have this. Could have sworn I got rid of one. Anyway, it's literally, you guys, it's the same thing as the Power Grip, except it has that watermelon smell, which, you know, is nice. I'm not saying it's not nice, but it's essentially the same thing. Next, I have the Cookies and Dreams Putty Primer from e.l.f. I'm just not really using a lot of pore filling primers right now, but I will say if you are looking for one at an affordable price, this one is good. I do like the putty primers from e.l.f. Definitely good though for enlarged pores. Something that I would probably reach for before that would be one of these kind of items. So this product from Lorac, it's the Dewy Canvas Prep. Such a beautiful, beautiful product, especially if you want something that kind of feels like a gel moisturizer on the skin. It kind of just immediately melts on contact. Beautiful dewy glow, but again, it feels like a moisturizer. There's no weird stickiness, glossiness, but it just sinks right in and leaves this beautiful sheen to the skin. I think that this is definitely a hidden gem. It's an underrated product. It's one that I bought because I was hoping to dupe the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base again. I've been trying to dupe that product for years, and I gotta tell you, I've not come close. This is different. It just is more of a pretty skincare, hydrated skin look. It doesn't necessarily have the blur that the Bobbi Brown does. And also the Bobbi Brown, your skin looks hydrated, but it doesn't necessarily look glowier. It kind of looks refreshed is the best way I can think to put it. But anyway, so I am going to keep that and the Magic Cream from Charlotte Tilbury. I like to use this like on my friends. It's a nice kind of luxury product. It's good as a prep product. It's also good, you know, in case someone hasn't moisturized their skin in a bit. It's definitely expensive for what it is, but that being said, it's not a bad product. My inclination would be to pick up the one from Bobbi Brown. Like, I would recommend this one over this. I will say though that the Charlotte Tilbury does get you closer to that buttery base that the Bobbi Brown does. It's one of the closest as far as textures go. Now the Spotlight Primer from Physicians Formula is really beautiful. I will try and link it if you can still find it, but I do think that if you want something closer to a Charlotte Tilbury dupe, I think that this one does get you close to like the Flawless Filter, at least like that fair shade that I have. There aren't as many shades to choose from this, so that definitely is a drawback to it. It is a good affordable product. I am going to pass along the Excess Splash Zone Hydrating Primer. It's just a lot of fragrance. I don't know if it's irritated my skin necessarily, but when I put it on, I kind of freak out a little bit. So I'm going to pass that along. Also going to pass along the Glow Mist from Pixi. This is pretty intense if you want essentially like a facial oil in a mist. This is great for very dehydrated skin. Great for if you're out and about during the day and your skin is just very chapped, you want something to kind of protect it, add some glow back to the skin. It's not a bad product. I'm just not getting a lot of use out of it. However, I really, really enjoy the Kosas Plump and Juicy. I've been using this to prep my skin as well as on top of it. This is especially good if I gotta get out the door and I need my skin to look plump and juicy, really fresh. If I feel like I should probably like reapply some skincare, but I just don't have the time. This is a really quick fix product for me. It's a glass bottle, by the way. I didn't realize it was going to be when I bought it. Very good one. I don't know where my top is. Whatever. We'll be keeping that. And also it does have like some topical collagen in there, probiotics. It's very soothing. I really like that one. Next we have the Sun Glow Primer from Say. I love this to put all over my face when I'm self-tanning. So this is usually what I go for. Really nice gel kind of texture, not too creamy, not too thin either. Really good one. I also have a couple of other mini shades here. I have Warm Glow, which you can see is also really, really pretty. That one I would use all over my face, just in general, if I wanted to add some more glow. And because of the texture of these, because they're thinner, I do find myself wanting to reach for these to put all over the face rather than, you know, something like the one from Physicians Formula that I just talked about. This one, because it has way more pearl, I would just use it as a liquid highlight probably. These have a little bit less pearl, so they're way more primer-like in my opinion. And then this is Star Glow right there. I've used Star Glow in the past, and Star Glow is really beautiful for kind of a brightening effect on my skin. So all three of these are really nice for different reasons. Go ahead and keep those. I have this little baby Rare Beauty Always an Optimist primer that I am going to pass along because I already have this one. And you know what? I feel like I'm going to pass this one along too. It's very similar to the one from Say, the Star Glow one, but it's just a little bit flatter. It's going to sit on the skin a little bit closer. It just has less hydrating aspects to it as far as the texture goes. Just going to sit closer on the skin. So that being said, if you really don't want your primer to feel like a hydrating base or another hydrating layer, you just want glow purely, obviously that's going to depend on skin type. I feel like you might actually like this more. And by the way, I don't dislike it. But part of this declutter is just, you know, moving products along. I wanted to include this product in today's video because I've been using it so much since I received it. It's the Glazing Milk, the Ceramide Facial Essence from Rhode. Not only does my skin love this, this is one of the best products that I've ever incorporated into my routine to make my makeup apply better. The beautiful glow that it gives the skin, it's really glowy, but it's not heavy or glossy. This is just, I haven't been this impressed by a skincare product in a long time. My skin just really likes it. And then my makeup looks really, really good on top of it. So as a whole, just bravo. I really am incredibly impressed. And it's been a while since I tried out a product that I was nervous to run out of it. Like, I don't want to run out of this. I'm nervous about it, which is exactly what I just said. But anyway, it's very, very good. Any hype surrounding this, I think, is absolutely true. I think it's just bonkers good. Really enjoy the Luminous Silk Hydrating Primer, especially if you're looking for a primer that's hydrating but also has that really pretty silky finish once it's on the skin. I like to think of this as a really, really elegant pore filling primer. One of the best out there that no one really talks about. I guess maybe because it's expensive, but I do think it's nice. So I'm going to keep that one. The Live Tinted Hue Glow is very similar to these other kind of glossy products that we've been talking about. If you know the Refi product in this similar vein, it's very similar. This is just a bit rosier, whereas that one has more gold glow to it. I would say maybe I should keep this and kind of use it to put on top of the cheekbones, or maybe spot place this under foundation. I'm going to try and get a little more use out of it. The Peach Seed Peach Glow Base is nice. It's actually pretty similar to like the VDL Glow Base product. Does have quite a peachy scent to it. I think someone could probably get more use out of it. I don't think it's a bad product though. And lastly, we have the MAC Magic Radiance. This is a really, really beautiful product for before makeup to add glow, after to really melt everything in and make everything look fresh and more dewy. Really one of those good summer staple, or not summer staple, like fall winter staple products. I think it's a really good one. Just a little bit more radiance than the regular Fix Plus from MAC. Just a little bit more dewiness. And it's not one of the ones with like a bunch of sparkle. So that's good. So here are all the products I'm going to be keeping. Here they all are. And this is everything I'm decluttering. This is definitely a decent amount of product, so I feel good about the way this declutter went. As a whole, though, I will leave all the products I talked about down below for you all. If you appreciated the video, if you enjoyed all the speed reviews, if you want to see more content like this, definitely make sure to subscribe before you go. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know what you would like to see next as far as my declutters. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you in my next one.